Hey everyone, how are you doing? You have Mike here, and today we're going to take a look at the 350 CFM Inline Duct fan from Mars Hydro. Now, full disclosure, Mars Hydro has sent this over for us to take a look at it here, and for us to review. So what we're going to do here is take a little closer look at the blower itself, and we're going to unbox it and get it set up into the tent. So let's start that process now. Okay, so let's take a look at the box here. So we've already opened this up, guys, and taken a look. So it does come with a nice display. As you can see, here is the 6-inch blower. It's come with a instruction manual of how to set up the smart display here. One thing that I noticed right away, this is not plastic. This is metal. It actually has some weight to it. It does not feel cheap at all, which is really cool. Not quite what I expected. Once again, that is most definitely some metal. So here we have the probe. You can see that there is a probe. It's actually asking us to remove this plastic, so we're going to have to make sure we remove the plastic from the probe. And then it has the wire that I imagine here is for the controller to the fan. So the only thing we really have to do here now is get this here all set up. So let's get started. Alrighty, so since this tent here is a lot bigger than the old one, this one here is a 4x8, the other one was a 4x4, we actually do need to bring in some fresh air in order to help keep things a little bit cooler. So, I've got some steel tape here. What we're going to do is we're going to attach this over, and then I'm also going to put another piece on the end here which holds my hose for my CO2. So I'm going to get started on this. And then after, I'm going to show you the control panel. Control panel is pretty cool for this here, and we're going to show you how it all works. So what we're going to do to attach this here is we're going to use some steel tape. I'm going to take out enough to go around it once, which should be about that. Okay, so once we got it over, alrighty, so we have this part done. So now for my CO2, I have a little, I'm not sure what you call it, diffuser here. And I'm just going to slip this over the end, just to make it simple. We don't have to put anything on this one here. And it's just going to go like this. It's going to allow my diffuser just to spread the CO2 around a little bit. So the only other thing we have to do here is connect our controller. To do that, hopefully you can see this little wire here. We are going to have to plug this into our controller. And then on the other end here, there is the sensor, which the sensor gets plugged in on this side. This here is the out. So let's get programming this controller so we can make everything work for us. Alright guys, so now we're going to show you here how this all works. So what we're going to do first of all here is let's cover the couple of modes that she runs in. So starting out, we're going to talk about the high temperature mode. So very simply here, high temperature mode, basically you have a set temperature down here of 73, which it just hit, and you can actually hear the fan just turned on to 5. This here, like I said, if I turn this up to 74 now, the temperature is not 74 in here, and you can actually hear the fan revving down. So this is high temperature mode. Low temperature mode is pretty much the same thing. You set the temperature to where you want it, and once it gets low enough to that point, it will kick on. So that's the low temperature. Then there's also down here, if we keep on clicking, you can see the high humidity. So we would set a humidity, which is up here. Our humidity shows the humidity. So we set the humidity to where we want it, and then if we wanted it to turn on when it gets to 53, when it gets to 53, it would turn on slowly like it did all of the other times with the other settings here. So let's go down to low humidity. Low humidity is the same thing. It will turn on if you have it set to when it gets to the lowest setting. Alright, so here we have the alarms. Now the alarms aren't something that I personally use because I have multiple other controllers. But the alarms are pretty neat. So let's say you wanted to turn on an alarm. Right now they're off, so if you hold the up and down button, it'll go from off to turn on. So if it got to 84 degrees Fahrenheit in here, the alarm would start to beep with it set to the setting. So once again, we're not going to use the alarm, the high temperature, the low temperature alarm, or the higher low humidity alarm. But you can see there's low temperature, there's also high humidity, and low humidity. So now let's just jump over to the on setting. So the on setting here is how you set your fan speed for all of the modes that you want to use, whether it be high speed or high temp, low temp. What you do is set the fan speed to whatever you like. So if you want it on fan speed 6 or fan speed 7, you can set that accordingly. For what we want it for, fan speed 5. So we're going to click here, and we're going to go back to the high temperature mode, and you're going to see the fan is running on speed 5. That's the same thing for all of the rest of these here. So that's how this works. So that's how you set your fan speed for all of the settings. Okay, so let's talk about the pros and cons of running the system. So one of the things that I like is I tend to put it here 71 degrees, and that's usually when it gets down to a night, so my blower turns off, which gives me a little bit of electrical savings, which is great. So that's definitely a pro. I do like that it does give you some saving. I do like that it turns on when it gets to a certain temperature. That is great. So the display and how it all works. So it's got a really cool button here, which is the leaf button, which turns off the display. So if you guys wanted to mount this inside your tent, which is what we will be doing, it is cool to have this button to turn off your display, so you don't have to worry about any light, harming your plants or anything like that. So let's cover a little bit of the cons now. So one thing that I did find really confusing was when I switch over to Celsius mode. Now we're here in Canada, so we use Celsius. So I could switch over to Celsius mode by holding down the two center buttons, the up and down, and then we could switch over to a temperature. But oh no, look, we're not able to use our actual settings. It's not running off the program, what it seems like. It might be running off the program, but it doesn't allow you to set anything in Celsius. You can only set it in Fahrenheit, which, I mean, you could easily just switch to Fahrenheit. It's not what we use here in Canada, so it is a little bit confusing in that sense. Now, another thing that I'm not going to say that I'm disappointed in, but I think that they could improve or maybe add a new mode for this here would be, let's say that I turn on my temperature here at, I want my fan to kick on at 20 degrees. So my fan would kick on at, fan speed 1. When it got to 25 degrees, maybe my fan speed could be up to, 7 or 8. There's no set variable in this controller that allows it to run for a certain limit, rev up and rev up as it gets closer to that mark. I think that would be really cool if we've seen something like that in the future. So possibly, maybe Mars Hydro, if you guys could look at something like that for the future, that would be really cool. And that would really help with electrical savings as well. If you just think about it, as your fan's it doesn't need to be running at that speed, at a high RPM. There's no reason to make it run at that, right? So that would be a really cool add-on if you guys wanted to do that in the future. But beyond that, guys, it's not that bad. I definitely like the controllability of it because you have 10 different speeds, and it really works good for my intake. And that's exactly what we're going to use this for here. Alright, so now we're going to take the hardware that came with the controller, and we're going to mount this here onto our control panel in our room. So you guys can pick one of these up here at the Mars Hydro website. We do have a promo code to save you a few dollars. I'm going to leave that here for you down in the description. Also, guys, I would like to thank everybody for watching. I do hope you enjoyed the video. You all have yourself a great day. Take care.